Hey, what's poppin' everybody? My name is Chimichangas28 and welcome back to yet another gaming video, where today we're going to be building what's right in front of me right now, which is in fact an automatic tree farm. Now if you've never seen one of these before, essentially what happens is the trees grow, pistons push them out. It's the basic concept, and as you can see it's a little bit more complex than that, but the difference between most tree farms for Minecraft Bedrock and this farm is that you can be totally AFK while you do it. You just have to hold down in this box right here, right trigger, right click, or excuse me, left trigger, right click, or tap. I guess you can't really be AFK on mobile, but you know, it works. So this is a little bit slower than other tree farms, but you don't have to manually harvest it, so you can get much more wood over a slower quantity of time. But it's a trade-off, but it's a good farm anyway. It's still decently fast either way, even if you use an axe to chop down the trees with. It's still fast. So I'm not actually going to get into on how this thing works because it is decently complex. It's not hard to build, it's just decently complex, so I won't be actually getting into how it works. But with that said, let's go ahead and hop into it with the very first steps. Now I am going to be running back and forth, as you can see here, you know, just to kind of make sure I'm getting it exactly right, because it is kind of finicky. If you build the dispensers on the wrong side, then then it actually won't work, so you need to make sure that we do that. So I'm going to transfer all of this stuff into our inventory, and then we can actually get started. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So first we have our grass block. Now on this side, what we're going to do is have our just like this, we're going to have our dispensers, and then on this side right here, we're going to do one block up on the same side like this, until you have something looking like this. You're going to have your redstone repeater right there, and then your redstone torch right after it. Now, the next part of this is you're going to take two observers, and you're going to go one like this, and the other facing into it to make an observer clock, and then you're going to take your sticky pistons. You are going to go 3 blocks out like this, break the bottom 2, face the piston inside, and then using a redstone block, which is not what's going to be powering this, this is just temporary, we're just going to do that right there until you have something looking like that. Now you're going to take your blocks again and go like this, and until you have a shape looking a little something like this right here with one block sticking up, and then you're going to take your repeaters, crouch place on this dispenser, and then place, and you're actually going to go one block farther out, and then you're going to grab your redstone dust just like this until you have this shape here, until your redstone contraption should start looking a little something like this. Now you're going to take your pistons and place them on the edge of this redstone dust here, so that way there's an air gap in between all of these things. And you're going to go 4 pistons up just like this. Now the next part of this is you're going to take your observers and you're going to go 1 block like that. Now you're going to take your single note block, you're going to place it there, and then you're going to take your redstone dust, place it on top of that. Now, you are now going to take your observers and go like this, 1, 2, just like that, blocks right here, and then redstone dust on top of it, and you should have something that looks a little something like this. Now, if we take a block here, we can see all 4 pistons fire if we just place those 3 up there and then break that, and now place this one here. We see all 4 pistons have fired and have moved 4 blocks, which will eventually be our 4 blocks of wood. Now on to the next part of this. So the next thing you're going to want to do is go down like this, and now grab a sticky piston like that and place that right there, break the bottom block. Now what you're going to want to do is come right up here and place a repeater and then a redstone block just like this, like that there. Now you're going to take your sticky piston and you're going to place it right there, block out like this with a redstone torch, and then you're going to leave it just like that for now. Now we're actually almost done with this farm. we've actually come pretty dang close to being done with it. So now all you have to do is place right here, and this will be your little AFK spot, just like that, on with your observer on the right, just like that. Now, the next part of this is you're going to take this right here, and you're just going to come around like so, just like this. Come around, and what you're going to do is come around just like this. What you should have is something looking like that. Now the next part of this is going to be for later. That's kind of some future prep. You're going to take glass right here and place it in this pattern right here. I'm going to place it in this pattern right here with redstone dust on top of all of this right here, just like that. And you may actually, let's actually push this back for now. I built this out of order, and you really want to build this thing in order, or else you might build some things too small, some things too big. You never actually know. So you do want to build this thing in order, so you are going to want to do that first. Sorry about that. I'm going to place an observer right here, as soon as right on the edge of this redstone dust's hitbox, and then we're going to take that out like this and bring it out here to this block here, and then right here, and we should connect now all of this up, and we shouldn't need to place a repeater. If we should hear the piston fire. Yes, there we go. That's working. That turns on and off. That's perfect. So that is now all working. Now I'm actually going to fly back over here just to kind of check and make sure that I'm doing it correctly. And that is something that I did forget, was a lever. So or a lever, or whatever you want to call it. So we'll place that there. We'll come around back here to the machine, and it goes right here. So, and then we'll make a little railing right here, so that way we're not, falling off while we're AFK. Place that there, and now we'll bring this all the way around. So, like this, we'll bring it all the way around here, around the back of this here. And then we just kind of want to make sure that we don't interfere with any of the other circuits that are in this thing. Just so that way, it's safe, right? We're not interfering with anything or anything like that. So now we place the redstone dust on this little bridge thing right here until we should have that. Oh, well, we do have to extend the signal of this, of course. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but we do have to do that. So that piston pushes in, and the clock starts going. Now that should be, and I stress should be, pretty much it. If we look around here, I don't think I'm forgetting anything, except for this, which we'll get to in a second. But for now, that should be pretty good. Let's just make sure it works. So what we're going to do is take our, let's see here, what am I going to need? We need our bone meal in our saplings. So we'll grab the sapling right there, and then grab some bone meal just like this. And I am forgetting something. I'm already thinking of something I'm forgetting, which is that up there. This needs to be 7 blocks above with a piece of obsidian above it. So it should be 1, 2, 3 blocks like that, with that, and then a piece of obsidian above it, just like that. That should be the same level, but I've actually, I think, built this one a little bit differently. And that should be good. Now, if we place that there, we don't want any delay on these, but if we place that there, what we should get is this eventually growing, and all of these pistons firing, and everything being hunky-dory. Eventually, that is. Like I said, this is a one dispenser system, so it might take a little bit of time. So let's actually just take our bone meal. Oh, it did work. Hold on. While I was taking out the bone meal, it worked. As we can see, pretty much the tree moved up, and that's all done. So we're good. That's working. Fantastic. That's actually working. That's great. Okay, so we'll put another one in while we work on this next part. Now, for this next part, we are actually going to need to measure. So we'll just start putting blocks out, just like this. Now, this part is going to be very precise with this part, so just remember that. So now you're going to want to place obsidian 1 block beneath this, so you should have something looking a little something just like this. Now the next part is, let me just make sure, let me remeasure. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Okay, just had to make sure real quick. Okay, then we have block down, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. The walls coming up, and then the walls coming up beside this one. So we should have a little bit of a structure that looks like this, and then it is 7 blocks across. So 3, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll build this across, just like this. What we should end up with is a little bit of a TNT exploding chamber of doom, if you will. And then actually what we need to do is build this out just a little bit like that, and then we won't be keeping this floor. What we'll be using for this is packed ice. You can use blue ice, but packed ice is of course much easier to get, especially in this quantity. So what we need to do now is come out just like that, and that should be, it's going to be a little bit longer than that of course, but I can't remember exactly how long it is. So I believe that is about right there. I think that's right, but I'm probably wrong. So if I am, just give me 5 seconds. We'll grab a water bucket, we'll check it out, we'll see if I'm right or not. Okay, so now what we need to do is grab a water bucket, like so, and then place all of this in, and once I've finished it, I will actually give the measurements for this thing. It's not super crazy. It's not huge. Oh, I actually got it right. Okay, so it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an 8 by 9 chamber. 9 including the walls. And actually, yeah, it's a 9 by 9, essentially, including the walls. So we'll finish off this like that, and we should have some pretty high walls. Now, this is the next part, and this is of course the part that you need to be very, and I stress, very careful about, or else you're going to have a really bad time, which is the TNT dropper. We won't be hooking this up for now, because we don't want anything to happen. So the dispenser actually needs to be, let's see here, let's measure this. The dispenser needs to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks away from the block of obsidian. So let's go ahead, excuse me, and do that. So let's grab that dispenser there. I'll just use, okay, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because I think I might have mixed a block there, so we'll just do 1 of that, and then bang. So now we should have this, and then what we'll do is go 1, 2 on either side of it. This is just to stabilize the TNT, so that way it doesn't fall off in the water here and actually waste TNT, because we don't have TNT dupers in Bedrock. So with that said, now the next part of this is actually an old classic, which you may recognize this, but and if you do, props to you. This is actually an etho hopper clock, so it works. It's much better and more compact than repeater timers, which is what a lot of people use, especially in the Bedrock edition of the game, where there aren't too many options because of, you know, piston mechanics being more simplified and yet somehow more difficult at the same time? Question mark? Okay, so let's go ahead and bang, and I believe I built this correctly. Just like that. Yes, okay. So now what we're going to do is place a block here and a block here, get rid of that, and now we're going to place our redstone dust here on the edge of this hitbox here. We're going to place our there, and then we're going to place some blocks there, and then we're going to place some blocks on the other side as well, and then a comparator, and then we're going to take our 40 sea lanterns and put it inside there, and now we should have a functioning clock. Now, this next part is we're going to take our blocks here, and what we're going to do is place, let me grab some real quick, sorry about that. We're going to grab some redstone torches, place them like here. This will actually lock the hoppers, as we can see, and no items are flowing either way. Now we're going to place 2 redstone dust on top of this. Now, the next part that you're going to do is grab this glass right here, and you're going to go 1 block out from here until we see this is powered. Just like that, we can turn this redstone line on and off. That's good. We'll leave it off for now because we are working with TNT, of course. So what we have is this right here. We're going to build a little staircase up. And in case you're wondering why I'm using glass and not slabs, number one, I think it's much easier to do in survival. And also, I think it looks really good. See, I think it looks a lot better than whatever you call it, slabs. Because slabs look almost incomplete. And let me just make sure we're going to bring this across here. Let me make sure that I did that correctly. That's fine. We don't need it to be exact. So just like this until we should have this. We'll bring this down. And you will have to put a repeater at the end because of stuff. I can't think right now. Hold on. Let me actually do this right here, and we'll place a repeater there that will power the block. So we will grab a repeater and throw it right there, and this should, in theory, in proven theory, do this, and then we will have that going there, and then what this will do is when this is turned on, it will turn these off, and items will flow back and forth. So we have a toggleable TNT dropper, and this is actually it. So now all we would actually have to do to get the farm to start running is basically put trees in it and wait. As we can see, this thing is already still trying to go. And I mean, this is it. It's very good. I mean, it's done. It looks good, and that is actually it. The whole thing works. Just to give it a tester, let's go ahead and throw some TNT in here, and this will 100% work. Now, when this eventually comes back around, and we can see, if we throw some more bone meal in here, I would recommend having some kind of renewable bone meal for this farm, just because it, you know, it goes through a lot of it, because that is what the main source of the farm is. And then we can see TNT blows up, and this is taking a ridiculous amount of time. That is why up there is because these have gotten stuck and in the way. So with that said, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like on it. If you guys want to see more content like this, then be sure to subscribe. And also, if this design worked for you, and if you use it in your server world, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next gaming video. Bye, guys.